All right, the language of stock market investing, stock market terminology. This is basically the beginning of stock market terminology. And of course, in a lot of the lessons that we are going to go over, there is going to be certain terminology not included in this piece that we may encounter that you guys may not understand. And I will try to, as I go through the lessons, if I see a term that I think that you guys may not completely grasp, I'll take a little time out to explain that term. Um, there are a couple of terms that are commonly used in the in the investment community, stock market investment community, that you should know. Um, and it's critical that you understand basic stock market terminology in order to understand the stock market. Some of you guys may not actually be using this program to individually invest, but even if you're talking to your financial advisor, it's good to be able to understand what your financial advisor is talking about. A lot of you guys may have 401ks with your job. It's good to kind of understand what um, the paperwork in your 401k is talking about. Okay, so the basic terms that you should know is common stock, which is the formal um, it's the formal term for stock. Shares, equity or equity interest, ownership or ownership interest, stake or ownership stake. And what I will do in the next couple of slides is I will try to put some of these terms in context and in sentence so you can better understand um, what they mean and how they will be used if you were to hear them used again. Um, and once again, all of these words pretty much mean the same thing. They're used interchangeably amongst the stock market investment community, but they all mean stock. It's common stock, shares, equity interest, ownership interest, stake. And so here's an example of shares being used in a sentence. So, if I was to say I have 200 shares in Apple Computer, it's basically the same thing as saying that I own 200 shares of Apple Computer stock. Um, with equity, um, after looking at my statement, I realized that I had a 25% equity position in this company. That's the same thing as saying that you own 25% of all of the stock outstanding in that company. So let's say the company had 1,000 shares that they issued out there. If you had a 25% equity position, then that means that you own 250 out of the 1,000 shares that are out there. Ownership. Okay. If you were to say that you had a 20% ownership interest in this company, and I'll be damned if you close that company, that factory down. I borrowed this from a couple of movies that I watch, and so forgive me if I sound like a dork, but if I was to say that, um, that would basically mean that I own 20% of all stock outstanding in that company. Stake. If you were to say that you have a 50% stake in Microsoft, that simply would mean that you own 50% of all the stock outstanding um, in the Microsoft company. And just notice that all of these words, they mean the same thing. They're used interchangeably amongst the stock market investment community. Just get a grasp of all of these different terms and you will be definitely okay. Okay?